All right, welcome to the first official Muscle Dummies podcast. I'm here with Johnny and Isaac, founder and co-founder here. Call this the first official one. First time we've actually got to meet in person, which is kind of nice. We were actually joking the other day. We've been friends for ever since we were all young, and we've talked forever. But the last year of our life been pretty separate. Building this business has been on the phone. We were even kind of joking. It's weird to talk finally in person, but we wanted to sit down finally in person, kind of unfold who we are, what the brand's about, what we've been up to, how we got to this point, and where we're going to the future. So, starting out with Isaac, he's got currently 117K on TikTok. The coach account has been ripping. What's it been alive for, 2 months, a month or two?
On Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been alive for about 2 months. Just finally picked up. I think I posted 180 times before it even gained any traction.
That's insane. I remember throughout the summer it was 4 vids a day, which was absolutely madness.
I was posting a lot, but I mean, it had to be done, and I kind of found the stuff that worked, and I mean, it's been paying off. It's growing. Hopefully, it continues to keep going.
It 100% will. But we've all been working out together for a long time. Always had a passion for fitness, and we kind of formalized it a year ago when Isaac had approached both of us and said, "Hey, I got this idea. I want to make a fitness company." Eventually became Muscle Dummies, as you guys all know. We'll kind of dive into all the deep ends of that. But Johnny personally has been kind of working the fitness side, posting content for probably 3 years, 2-3 years now.
No, I mean, it's only been a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, it feels like it's gone faster. Anyways, in that time, he's accumulated almost 300K on Insta now, which is, again, explosive growth in the last 3 months. Probably 100,000, close to 290,000 followers in 3 months.
Yeah, I was posting a
It's
lot
nuts.
on Instagram. It finally took off. Very happy, very blessed that we're all doing so well.
Absolutely. And then another 270K on Insta or on TikTok. So cumulative, there's a lot of eyes on the company and the brand and the message we're trying to spend.
1 mil by next year. That is my
For
goal.
sure.
1
Easy.
mil, easy money. Louis, what you got?
So really want to honestly just make this super casual, sit down. Like I said, we've been friends for a long time. We have these talks, it feels like every day, sitting down kind of talking about personally where we're at, professionally where we're at, where we want to go, what we've learned, just asking about each other. So we really want to sit down, make this a formal episode, mainly about how we got here. Why are we here? Why are we talking about Muscle Dummies? Because it's really only been around for less than a year now.
Yeah, I think we really I think I designed the NFTs, which is the first piece of action that we actually took towards the company. I think that was January 7th ish. So yeah,
About a year now.
we're getting to a year. We're close on a year.
Jan 7th was the initial idea. Yeah.
No. We pitched. I pitched it to you in mid-November.
When was there a drawing? It was Jan 7th. I saw in my text the other day.
It was
the first drawing that you sent.
Yeah, but I pitched it in November, but I kind of just sat on it, and we kind of just figured out what we were going to do just to take our first initial step to, get the company from an idea to actually even something, and that was those drawings that I started doing in early January.
How did you get the idea? Because you both were posting fitness content before Muscle Dummies ever even became a thing. But how did you get the idea of I want to start one business when you've started more than that now, but I want to start this business, I want to call it something, and I want to bring my friends in?
I mean, it's really changed a lot, and the business itself, as obviously you guys know, it's changed drastically over the last year, and it's so exciting to see where it's going to go based on just how much changed over the year and how much we've had to pivot, and it's all worked out just for the best. But when we first started, me and you were super big into investing, we're big into cryptocurrency, NFTs were coming out, and I was like, dude, we got to find a way to bridge this gap between health and fitness and NFTs and cryptocurrency, because there's gonna be a spot in the market. And that's why the initial push for the company was the NFTs, the Muscle Dummy NFTs. And even that changed a ton since they came out. Our initial thing was 3,000 of it. Now we're down to 333. And it's changed so much. But that was the first thing that came out because we wanted to bridge that gap. And I was I feel like I see a market segment that can be taken over, which, sure, and there's going to be opportunities in the future. But obviously we are way more involved with providing direct value to our consumers via plans now that they
Absolutely.
can utilize now, because it still is the waters are murky with NFTs and cryptocurrency, and a lot of people don't understand them yet. But I mean, that's the beauty of us only having 333, is that now we're not dealing with that mass scale of
We don't have to
3,000
make a
people.
utility for thousands of people.
Exactly, and then you can get 333 people on board. We're already at number 70. We sold number 70 today. So that's where it really started. But now, we just took a bunch of pivots, and that's where we're at.
Yeah, we'll talk more about the NFT because I do want to unpack that. Like, what is it? Like,
For sure.
and we're not going to get into like a deep crypto guru dive of NFTs, but I think talking about it, how it correlates to you, the consumer watching this, like, what's a Muscle Dummies NFT going to get you? Why would I buy it? Because we have all these great products, but we'll expand on that episode 2, talk about that a little bit more. But let's definitely build on kind of I liked what you said about pivoting right away, because we've had this idea, I think we had this massive idea 10, 12 months ago of like what we wanted to accomplish by today, because it's been about a year of taking action. Would you say, like, what did we expect 12 months ago to where we at today, and kind of what were we formulating back early January, like, hey, these first few months of the year, like, this is what we're trying to do, and did we fulfill on that?
I mean, look, dude, we've been humbled. we've been our goals were crazy, and like for me personally, it's been a super great growing experience, because me personally, like, I had these overly ambitious goals that I was really working hard towards and I really wanted to accomplish, but at the end of the day, they worked out exactly how they're supposed to, which was them not working out really at all. But again, that's that pivot that we had to do, and what we realized is we had direct value to give to customers now, to give to consumers now, and help change their life right now, versus us trying to explain to them what an NFT is, how it can benefit you, the future investment, all that good stuff that we'll get into later. But we realized that we had the value now to give to people, and that was the biggest pivot with the company, and it's been awesome because we've really been able to change a lot of people's lives, and it's super cool because we can do it at a mass scale.
Yeah, and that's kind of what the hurdle we're trying to overcome now is the scaling issue, because I think we've got it relatively ironed out of the direction we want to go with the products that we want to release, who we are as a brand, as individuals, who's going to play what role, which we can get into that as well. But the humbling thing, I just remember like January, February, March last year, like it was like a lot of, we got to get this, we have X amount of numbers to meet, and it's been like, oh, now that like the rubber meets the road, it's kind of like, oh, this is not what we all expected, which has been kind of cool. One of the questions I was going to ask you guys is like, what's the most crucial thing that you learned in starting a business in the last year? Because I'll tell you personally, for myself, and my professional life kind of helped me make this shift. But first off, you're trying to start a business from the ground up, which is already a tough thing to sell, but you're working with a few of your best friends, which like it's no secret that stuff can happen. You're dealing with money, business, growth with friends and stuff, right? And that can obviously end poorly. But I think we've done a very good job, especially in the last 5 to 6 months, maybe not at first, of communication, like, is on point 99.9% of the time, holding each other accountable. I'd say that's what I learned the most in this last year, aside from all the health shit that I've learned, all the facts about lifting, dieting, sleep, all that stuff that we've slowly unpacked, but how to communicate with each other, how to hear another opinion and go forward. Maybe your initial idea wasn't the best idea, taking in others' opinions. Personally, that's been the biggest thing for me that I've enjoyed growing with you guys, and you personally, Isaac, has been a big thing. The last year, what you said, we had these aggressive 3,000 numbers. I have to have it done by April 1st. I understand, like, there's a big need, right, to want to be successful, but you have grown and shifted a lot. And it's no secret to why, like, you're a college dropout in MD University and succeeding right now, which is a heinous thing to say, like, you're a college dropout, but I say it totally jokingly because it's fucking hilarious. Sorry, I gotta clean that up. Cut that. Yeah. I think it's hilarious, though, because you have dropped out of college. I think a lot of people are like, what are you doing? You had a business route, you had football going for you, whatever it is. Why did you drop out? What are you pursuing right now? Like, are you just like going to the gas station in the morning and lifting? Like, going home and playing COD, or?
I mean, for right now, it's a leave of absence for right now. But yes, that is the next step. For me personally, like I just feel like it's my job because you are a medical student, you have a full-time job. Brian over in Utah, he's got a full-time job. I just feel like it's my job that I need to see the bigger picture and I need to understand where this is going and do my best to push us in said direction of where this is going. And like you said, yeah, when we first started, it was obnoxious. Like my goals were crazy. They were crazy obnoxious. John gets on me all the time. He gets mad at me all the time because he comes up with this big, overly ambitious goal. And it might not be for him, but me, like I just knowing what I know now after the last year, and me saying like, hey, like, well, how are we gonna get there? What are we gonna do about it? And then he's just like coming to me with an enthusiastic idea of just like this, and then I'm just like, well, why even put your energy into it if it's not something that we can work towards? And if it is something we can work towards, how can we begin to work towards it?
Exactly.
And he always thinks that I'm, busting his ass about, me just. I'm never trying to be negative towards his opinion. I respect his opinion.
Yeah.
I have the utmost respect for his opinion. But at the same time, too, like, I know what it feels like to be humbled, and I know what it feels like to not achieve those goals, and it's very hard, and I don't disagree with goal setting at all, but I also understand that you need to be a realist. But for the most part, too, you set a standard of the bare minimum that you can receive in order to be happy. And I promise you, if you work towards that, and it's a realistic goal that you can achieve, you're going to go past it, and you're going to be happier in the long run, and it's going to work out even better than you thought, and you're not going to hurt yourself, because that was my biggest problem, is I was always just disappointed. But now that I can see things clearly, and I can understand the general direction and how we're going to get there and what action needs to be taken to get to that next step, I can humbly sit back and say, this is a goal I have. This is the bare minimum that needs to happen for my soul to be happy, and that is how I'm going to do it. And then most of the time, like I said, it works out 10 times better than you could have ever imagined. Absolutely. And that's the exact trajectory of this company so far.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing with us, and that's something we've learned over the past few months especially, is working every single day consistently on goals that we have to accomplish in said period of time. But it's really the consistency. It's taking action on things. When we bring up things to one another, I think we have a great check and balance system.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I also think we do keep each other in check, that if we do bring an idea to one another, we either say, yes, we can move forward with this, or no, this is not going to work out exactly the way they planned it because you might be overstepping your bounds now versus what you can do today.
And I think the hardest thing about that whole idea is that Muscle Dummies is a limitless company.
Yeah.
It is a health and fitness company. It is an umbrella that will host many, many, many different things underneath it. And it's basically just a parent company for anything health and fitness. Yeah. Muscle Dummies is the bridge to you achieving your health and fitness goals.
That's it.
Yeah. That can be weight loss. That can be football. We're doing that right now. It can be bodybuilding. It could be powerlifting. It could be jumping out of an airplane. I don't know.
Lifestyle, productivity, mood, overall relationship with people. Like that's everything.
So it's hard because you look at this company that can be anything and you have all these great ideas, but it's like we have to sit back and focus on one thing at a time. We have to take one step at a time. Yeah. We have to get over these little mountains one at a time. But it is limitless, and it's hard because there's so many beautiful things we can do with this company that we will do, but it's very hard because we're just in a stage right now where it's like one foot in front of the other. Keep on the straight path, continue to do what we're doing, move forward with what we need to move forward with, versus thinking all these crazy different ideas that we could do in the future. Absolutely. And it's great to put that stuff out there into the universe, but it is very hard because it is a limitless company. And it can be taken anywhere.
Absolutely. Yeah. The patience part is another big thing I think we've learned. But back to like the structure and the checks and balances, I think it's been beautiful set up. Maybe even at first, like you're saying, you bring out this idea. Maybe it's a far-fetched idea. It's not possible. It doesn't fit the brand. But part of like the building on like the last personal growth in last year is like, again, you putting out that idea and you're not putting in your 2 cents just to put in your 2 cents. It is valuable feedback. Or, yeah, it looks great, we'll pass it on. So I think it's taken some trial and error, being like, send a message, text, whatever it is, nah. And it's like, what do you mean, nah? I thought about this all day yesterday.
Right.
Nah.
And that's the thing too, is you always got to come from a good perspective of, like when John comes to me with something, it's something that he's genuinely passionate about.
Yeah.
And I can't sit back and be like, because John does weight loss stuff, he does medicine. I'm not into that.
Yeah.
Does that mean that I'm not caring of what he has to say? Like, just because I'm not passionate about it doesn't mean that I can just be like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Because again, it's a company that is limitless, and we will do a lot of different things. And the beauty is we have all these specialists within the company that will continue to grow. But just because I'm not passionate about it doesn't mean I don't want to do it.
Absolutely.
So
But I think that's like what's glorified about this company is I have an understanding. I work with the weight loss specifically, but even for example, when people talk to me about plant-based diets and things like that, like that's out of my realm. That's out of my specialty, in my opinion. So I think it'll be cool to see as this company kind of progresses to add people on to fill in those certain subcategories so that people aren't overextending. Because I want an expert in every field who's passionate about it. I don't want to have to sit there and say, oh, this is the best plant-based. I don't even follow plant-based. I would rather have someone, a part of our team, know what they're talking about, very passionate about it, and the best that they can do for our clients and for all of you at home who are going to end up working with us someday, hopefully.
Working with us, working for us, consuming our products or content, whatever it might be. Back to like the kind of the structure and the roles that we all play. Like you said, you're in charge here, right? You're the CEO, and maybe in charge isn't like the coin term, but you're the head of the company. You started it, right? But I think you have stepped up fantastically in that role, because I have seen and worked for people, had people work for me, of giving direction, leading by example, but not like overarching and controlling the company necessarily. So we all play different roles, and kind of off of that, for those who don't know, I have a whole other full-time job. As you guys know, I went to college to fly planes, and we had a long talk last night about kind of what I'm doing now, flying drones, kind of in the drone world, which is also very consuming. But I think the value that I bring is, obviously we've been health nuts our whole lives, always worked out together. It's always been a passion of mine. But we're kind of mixing all the specialties in now. I think there's a little bit of a timing issue of kind of like where Muscle Dummies maybe all these roads will connect and then take off and really start to go, because I'm developing myself professionally over here. I got some work to do for the next 2-3 years maybe at my company, things I want to accomplish, things I want to do. You're obviously in med school. You're at a different turning point now. It maybe was school at the point, but I think you got some key building years, whether it's on social, building your personal 5-star package, which I think is a whole episode itself, talking about that and the inception, how it got there. And then off camera right now we have Trent as well, and then Brian helping out with the development side. So everyone's got a role, everyone's got their own little specialty, and like you said, the overall arching umbrella of reach your health and fitness goals, right? It's that simple. Right. I think it's pretty arrogant to think, I think a lot of people online will have like, this package will solve all your health problems, and maybe it's like dry food. It's not great. It's very restricting. What I appreciate about what we do is I don't think we do that. We've given people very consumable, bite-sized for the content we have put out this year, which hasn't been as much as we've wanted, but obviously everyone else has a lot of other stuff going on. Just wrapping up here, I am proud of how far it has come in the last year. It's been a pleasure to watch you guys grow, myself grow, get to know all of you guys each more. There's a lot of great things ahead. I think Muscle Dummies has already been taken extremely well by the community. People have loved it, again, for what we've been able to put out. We have so many goals, again, which is back to the patience thing. It is hard to be patient because there's so many things that we want to help you guys out, and we know how to do it. But that's down to come down the road. But point of this episode is just want to introduce who we are, kind of what we got going on. But it's nice to see you boys finally in person and catch up. So.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Episode 2. Talking about the NFT, what that means for you as the consumer. You're not going to want to miss that. If you have no idea what crypto is, watch that episode.